So if we can incorporate that where we actually take time to plan the week, we are positioning ourselves better to win because we have 24 hours in a week. 48 hours, 168 hours rather in a week. And most of us don't even know where the time has gone. If I ask, what have you done or what are you doing with your time or why don't you have time? The answer most times is, I don't know. Time just went like that. However, if we can change the way we view time and change the way we see time and start showing up in a different way, the answer to that question won't be so tough to answer. We'll be able to say, oh, this week I was a waka pass. All of us know the commitment levels already, so I don't need to reintroduce them. But what I have said, for those that have not listened, is this in the past is we have to be committed to what we are supposed to do or what we want to achieve. We can't be passive anymore. If we say we want to be the best and we're not dedicating hours to learning and improving and being the best version of ourselves, then we can't truly, truly, truly be the best. So I want us to kind of incorporate that productivity aspect that helps us plan our time. So we'll go into a breakout room and actually plan. If you're a waka pass, you're a waka pass that week. If you are someone that is going to be an EFICO that week, you should be. And sometimes when we don't have that 9 to 5 or that job that pays what we want, we fail to realize that as creatives, as dreamers, as people that have goals, we need to schedule our lives and plan for ourselves. If not, other people will control our calendars and we won't control our calendars. So welcome to today's wonderful session. Now, I was going to do a little bit of a check-in, like I said. Today's topic is what you are consuming is creating you, or what you consume is creating you. I've said in the past that attention is a currency. And sometimes when we think of currency or something, we think about that, oh, we only pay money. If I have money, I will do much more. But you have attention, what are you doing with it? And sometimes our attention is being diverted and we don't know. We are consuming so much. We are not even using the content we consume. And content is not just social media. Let's look at what we see around the movies, the conversations that we are engaging with are not really adding value to us. So we are making noise in a noisy world rather than being a voice in a noisy world, because the world is not going to stop making noise. Every day there's a distraction. Today it's, oh, AI is coming for everybody. Tomorrow it's a crisis in another place. So there are things that are pulling your attention everywhere, but where it should be. Understanding your identity and getting inner clarity in that noisy world. But it is possible to become a voice and think about it. So we're going to do 3 T's check-in, and this time we're going to answer the 3 questions as usual, but I tweaked it a little bit. So the first one is, what's the truth you have been ignoring about your consumption? The tug is, what content or voice keeps tugging at you positively or negatively? And the third one is, what kind of tired are you feeling lately? Is it from doing or absorbing or just being there? And I'll start because I'm a good teammate. What's the truth you have been ignoring about my consumption? I am an archive of internet ideas and every single thing that goes on. Sometimes I think everybody understands what has gone on. When I say bye sister, I'm expecting people to just immediately understand. When I talk about Shane Dustin, and I talk about the Black TikTokers, and I talk about all these things, my assumption is everybody understands that. So I consume a lot of internet data, from tools to trends to people's personalities to changes to beef. I know it all. So that's one thing I have been listening. So I'm chronically online is what I have finally accepted. Then what content or voice keeps tugging at you positively or negatively? I would say the content that keeps tugging at me, I'm on the fence of whether it's positive or negative, is the deconstruction one, because sometimes I see how positive it is when people are deconstructing their faith, trying to answer questions about who they are, finding it out for themselves, not what they were told. And then that retraining of the mindset takes a lot. So that's something that tugs at my heart all the time. It really, really makes me think and reflect. So that part, what kind of tired are you feeling lately? Is it from doing or from absorbing? Can anyone really answer that question? I know I'm tired of being tired of talking to people to do. I'm tired of seeing people doing, and I'm like, oh, this person can actually do it. So mine is not really, mine is from absorbing and coaching. That's the kind of tired I am. So as usual, treaties, your truth, your talk, and your tired. Let's get started with Emma. Emma, you came on first, so I will go to you. Emma, your treat. Okay, tell us your name, where you're calling
Notes to
from.
self. I'm not going to join early again. Hello, everyone. My name is Emma, and a truth that I've been ignoring about my consumption is that I spend way too much time on Instagram. I I noticed it. I mean, my phone also tells me when it shows me my consumption per week. It's not good. It's really, really, really not good. And it's something that I really have to put my foot down on. And then for the tug, I would say that I I just want my voice to be heard. I've stayed in the background for so long that I'm tired of being in the background. I'm not trying to be a content, I'm not trying to be an influencer or somebody that is in everybody's faces, but I'm tired of keeping my ideas to myself and I want it to be heard now. And then the kind of tire that I'm feeling lately is one of complacency, if I could say that. I feel like I have so many things to do, and sometimes starting is the thing for me. Like it just makes me tired, you know. So I hope that I can give myself some sense and start doing the things that I know that I should do. So that's it.
Fantastic. I love that. I really love that.
Thank
You're
you.
tired is tired, Seth. I can hear
Yes, so
it. Awesome. So you nominate the next person.
is Oyinda part of us?
Yes.
Oh,
Very
good.
much.
Oyinda, because it's your name that I can see on the screen. So yeah.
Okay, good. She was the second to join, if I'm not mistaken. You don't
And
know.
well,
Yeah.
I was actually here praying she doesn't call my name.
Are
I'm
you?
like,
You
please don't call me, please don't
Yourself,
call
you know
me.
better. Yourself, you should know better.
um, the truth. Okay, I think the truth I've actually been ignoring is the fact that I feel I sometimes I just have this outburst like when I'm overwhelmed and everything is not going my way and everything becomes frustrating. I usually vent out to someone that is not stressing me. I mean, the person, I usually cannot vent out to the person that is stressing me. So I have to look for someone and vent out to. And I don't know, I mean, I should face the person that is stressing me, not someone else. So I think that's just the truth. And it can be annoying because, I mean, this person is not the one. Okay, I take out my anger on someone else.
Deflection. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of, if I'm angry, like, I don't usually get angry easily. I try to just, overlook and just bear things. But when it becomes overwhelming, sometimes I just have an outburst. And usually for my voice, you just know that now this girl is pissed off. And it's usually to the wrong person.
Okay.
Person that doesn't offend me. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's just one truth about it. That I've been trying to shy away from. I'm like, not as if I'm angry, but really I'm angry.
Okay. And sometimes anger is an emotion that we are not taught to express. We have told, don't be angry now, Nigeria, no vex now, a small thing. And sometimes we are suppressing these emotions, especially if you're introverted like us, and we have always been on the follow peace with every man's side. Sometimes you just don't know even a healthy way of expressing that emotion that is anger. Even the Bible says be angry, but don't sin. But we take it as don't be angry at all. All right,
True.
thanks for sharing that. Okay, so what's tugging in your heart right now?
Lately, I've actually been seeing a lot of things on the media that is kind of annoying, really, really annoying, and ugh, I mean, it's really, I don't know, it's kind of affecting the way I see and view some kind of things.
Okay.
I mean, yes, yeah. So I'm like, most times nowadays I just try to avoid going to TikTok or maybe Twitter. Is either they are dragging one person and I'm like,
God.
yes, Twitter is toxic. Is either they are dragging one person or one person is misbehaving. It's just I feel it's impacting me negatively and I'm like, what's this? And you just see some things and you're angry and you're pissed off. I'm like, what? Why? What was this? So yeah.
Okay, I agree. Twitter is people that love Twitter, I don't understand because there's
Alright.
always one dragation there. I can't
They
stand it.
dragged me on Twitter. I had to go away for 3 months.
Are you
I
serious?
did.
What did you
Are
do?
you serious?
You have to gist us. What did you do?
I don't know. Usually I've been minding my business on Twitter.
You
About the posting stuff. I mean, I love this. There's this page you always find me reposting about houses, nice. Call it. I think it's house. I don't know. I think it's just about beautiful houses and cold and all. So one time I saw a post about I think I have a thing for the military, right? And I mean, it's when you have people that are in the military and you see their struggle, the way they have to fight insurgency and everything. So one time I saw something and someone was like, "Very good, kill all of them," and I'm like,
okay, I will have spoken up also.
ah, no, this is not. I went with I went with no, this is not right now. What if your family have a family there, and what if this particular thing happens to your family? That was how sad people from happy homes came for me. Oh God, my heart was palpitating when I started seeing notification.
just sign out completely, deactivate accounts to be
I
continued.
don't up to now. I didn't bother opening. I didn't even bother opening. When I just started seeing reply, repost, and reply, I just went to the app and I uninstalled the app for 3 months. I was away from Twitter for 3 months. And when I came back, there were other notifications. So I just moved on. Up to now, I've not had the mind to go through
No, Twitter is terrible.
Brutal
the
place.
As in, that's crazy because you can, and that's the thing, we have become so critical as human beings, we don't even allow other people have an opinion. Once you
you can't
don't agree with me, you are the enemy.
exactly. You can't even have an opinion on Twitter. There's this lady that I think they kind of raised money for her. I don't know. It was about she waking up around 4 a.m. Okay, she said her
Oh, that
husband
woman's
They're
always
always dragging her. She's so controversial.
No, because she does
Yeah.
not understand. She doesn't have media training, number one, and she doesn't care about media training. She has assumed,
She's just her mouth doesn't have a
yes,
filter.
she always has this arrogance. That they raised money for her, fantastic. She will have gone a different direction with it. But see, power corrupts, Emma, but absolute power corrupts what?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what happened in our own case. So There's another guy that's always selling thing in everybody's comment section.
Manchester. Please like my, I don't know. I think I have a
You
pin.
have a strategy. 3 years, you're still doing the same thing. The business has not grown. Anyway, let's move on. Oinda, you've dragged us today. Don't worry, we know the type of tired you are. You don't need to tell us. Let's move to the next person. Who are you selecting or who are you nominating?
That would be Lola.
Hey, Lola.
Oh, hi, sorry. It took such long for me to unmute. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Hi, evening,
Hi,
everyone.
Lola. Yes. So the floor is yours.
So what's the truth? I've been annoying about my consumption. I tend to go to Instagram when I'm feeling very stressed or when I feel demotivated. And Instagram is not a place to go to, I feel, when you're stressed, because I think it just increases the stress. And I think it also just encourages procrastination. So it's not a good thing for me to go to Instagram. And I've also noticed that I go to Instagram sometimes when I'm feeling down as well. And, you know, that dopamine hit tends to help, but it's always temporary, which leads me to stay on Instagram longer because I want that hit to continue, which is terrible. I've got this app that allows me to watch how much time I'm spending on social media. But also I remember hearing someone teach, and they were saying that, you know, entertainment is the enemy's version of joy. So I had to really ask myself some deep questions like, okay, let me spend time in the presence of God. Let me worship. Let me pray. Why is the first thing that I do when I'm feeling demotivated or down is go to social media instead of me just maybe worshiping or just speaking to God about it? So I noticed about myself. So that's the truth that was hard hitting for me. Tug, what content or voice keeps tugging at me positively or negatively? Okay, so I realized that, you know, I think was it Friday, we were talking about what topics would I easily talk about. And one of them was relationships. And even today, when I was in meditation, when I was worshiping, I had some gems dropped in my head, I believe by the Holy Spirit, in regards to me actually talking about relationships. Because even though I enjoy talking about relationships to people, I never considered actually talking about it on social media. Because I just thought everybody else who talks about it, they are not professionals, but they do research, they talk about it in a way that I just thought I couldn't. But today, actually, I took down some things and I got some confirmations that actually, you know, Lola, at some point you are going to have to talk about your experience and also talk about how, you know, relationships should be approached based on my own experience of things that I've personally been through with relationships. Because I was just like, okay, God, the things I've been through, I can't just go through it for the sake of it. There has to be a reason for it. There has to be a story to tell, a testimony to give from my own experience. And I believe today kind of tugged at me to say you need to start talking about that. And negatively, I think as much as I do love researching, sometimes my mind tells me, oh, researching is so long. It takes so much of your time to research. And that would eventually lead to procrastination and not doing what I'm supposed to do. So now I'm trying to control the narrative in my head to say, do you know what? Anything worth doing is worth doing well. There's no point just getting on Instagram and just talking whatever you want to. Yes, you have a right to, you know, speak your own opinion, but it's always good to be backed with facts and backed with good information. So I think I need to get back onto researching extensively. I do research, but not as much as I should. And so that's what's tugging, if that makes sense. What kind of tired are you feeling lately? I've been tired of absorbing, you know, for some reason of this season, I've been really intrigued by celebrity gossip, especially around relationships. And I've just been tired.
Exhausting, girl. It's exhausting.
It's very tiring, honestly. I'm telling you. Like today, was it yesterday? I think I was watching something about the whole Blake. I don't know why I'm so like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just so enamored by this whole Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, because I really do think it's crazy how a woman, they say hell has no fury like a woman scorned. and the extent that a woman will go to based on rejection, and how she's willing to ruin herself and ruin others in the process just to prove that she is right when actually she lied. I just can't fathom how someone could be that delusional.
Media trained also, and that's the line of work. You're like, you've built this thing up for such a long time. Why would you do such a thing? That when is enough enough?
Yes, like it's just when it's enough, and it's just like to actually see the human psyche, like the narcissism, the delusion, the privilege, and to think of the injustice, and just noticing, even with the P. Diddy trial and everything, just seeing how, you know, a lot of people, including even presenters, looked up to these people and said, oh my gosh, they're so successful, they're so this, they're so that. When really underneath the surface, you're really discovering something quite nasty. Now, all have sinned, you know, and fallen short of the glory of God. I'm not necessarily judging, but it's just interesting to see how some people feel that if they're at a certain height in their career, that they are invincible and everyone should bow to them. I don't know, I just find it really fascinating. So, but I'm tired of consuming. It makes me weary because I just think, oh my gosh, people could be so wicked. So I need to actually stop doing that and invest time in reading a book or something. Yeah.
You need to replace that habit. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. I like that. So we have an habit you want to replace. All right, awesome. What are you calling up next?
Okay, I'd like to call on Sharon.
Hey, Sharon, you've been picked. That's true. Sharon and you should even meet. Sharon hosts with events for women.
Yeah.
I don't know when our next event is, but I believe you guys will connect well.
Oh, Les, I knew she was going to call me, you know, I just had it in my heart. Oh, lovely.
You're both in the UK. Sharon isn't in London with us, but anyway.
Oh, yeah. Just to add to that, the next event will be on the 28th of this month.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
What's it about?
It's still about walking in your purpose, being courageous purpose, and walking in your purpose as a woman.
Oh,
and then, yeah. Usually, we use the book of Esther.
Yes.
Being Esther of your generation, you're called for such a time as this. So, yeah, so we'll use that as a dialogue to engage with the women. It's all about empowering women to step up to their purpose. And yeah. So, like I said, it's a regular meeting. So just for me to be consistent in it, to show up. Yeah.
You've shown up. You've really shown up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
Ball is in your court now.
As you guys were talking, I was just, okay, the truth about myself, what I've learned of late, I never realized that I'm spending so much time online. It was, I think last week here, my son started checking everybody's time. He said, oh, Mom, do you know you can check your phone, how long you spend online? And he was checking that, everybody. So I realized that mine was I spend more.
It was the IS.
Yes.
The roles are vast because it's parents that are checking children's phones and saying, you're spending too much time on this. All right, interesting. Please continue. Sharon, if you're speaking, you're muted. Okay, can any other person hear me? Or it's just me that can't hear Sharon?
I think it's a
I can hear you. Maybe it's a network.
Okay, we'll give her a couple of seconds and then we'll move to, because if I come to the screen to see anybody that wants to volunteer to speak, should volunteer themselves. Okay, Sharon, maybe a call came in. Yes. Hi, Sharon, you're unmuted now.
Yeah, okay, I didn't realize there wasn't any call here, but I think it's a network connection. I didn't even know where I stopped or where you stopped hearing me.
I said that your son has become the parent that is one checking everybody's phone.
Yeah, like I said, he was checking everybody's phone, but I gave an excuse to say I study online. So majority of my course is online, self-directed as well. So I would stay up to go back on the recorded message
Mhm.
My assignment needs to be done. So apparently I didn't realize how much time. I think it was about 9 hours plus, he said, that I spent on
No,
online,
madam,
in a
that's
day.
not
So
that's not the cocoa. So your phone should give you the total number of hours you spend on it, and then it breaks it down by app. So if it's email or if it's the website as an internet, then it's a different thing. Go and check very well. Yeah, I'm sure you will not be
Yeah,
happy when you see.
no, because my phone is linked to my computer, so apparently it's added everything
Oh yes,
up,
okay.
including the- yeah.
We understand. Okay.
Yeah, so it added it all. No, because I don't really
Okay.
spend much time on phone, so it's on my laptop.
Laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like I said, I wasn't even aware of this. It brought that to my attention. So that's the truth I've actually learned, and to see how much I can slow down as well, because I realized it started to affect my sight as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So the suggestion was to reduce the time of consumption. Yeah.
And today we're talking about consumption. Fantastic. All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So that
What is it tugging at your heart right now?
the tugging really for me is that I'm multitasking. Yeah, a lot, and it's tugging at me. Some could be positive, some could be negative. Negative influences and positive. So because I'm multitasking, I'm trying to divide my time into different stuff I'm doing, and then on reflection, the area that I really want to be more productive, I'm not, because my attention is divided. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So in terms of building up my business, I really need much time into that, which I believe I'm not investing as I expect to do. And I'm frustrated, I'm self-criticizing myself for that as well. And yeah, so that's what, like I said, multitasking is what is really tugging at me.
Okay.
And where to, yeah.
Okay. All right. Multitasking.
Yeah,
Continue, don't worry. I will not be
and
answering
voices.
anybody. We will not be here. We will not focus today. We'll talk about multitasking and why I support monotasking later if we have time. All right. Okay. Why tired? What is tiring you on it?
Well, yeah, what is tiring me really is just as I'm talking, I'm tired. Tired in the sense I'm absorbing a lot of information.
Yes.
A lot of, you wouldn't believe, from morning I woke up to night, just information, that noise. With some of this information, like I when I was thinking, shall I connect again this evening? I said, God, I've absorbed so much today. Should I just switch off? But at the same time, I thought about it. This would also be productive for me as well. It's something I will take away. And so that's what is absorbing me. And learning from this, really, where I'm taking myself to say, Sharon, you have to stop now, because you've got so much of knowledge. Are you bringing that knowledge into application? That's wisdom, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as we're just talking, the knowledge, there's so many information. I need to start bringing it into application. And for me, in bringing that into application, for me to start earning money out of it. That's what I'm saying.
Monetization.
That's it, because it's just too much in there. And I just keep telling myself, so many people don't have much knowledge that I have. They're already making money out of it. How come I'm just absorbing, and I'm not there yet? You get what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I think that transparency and vulnerability is why we're doing what we're doing. Because most of us here are tired of consuming. As in, you have a good idea, but you're thinking, okay, how do I do it? Then everybody is telling you different rules, different things. And you just have to show up. I think I found somebody on Instagram, on TikTok. Me, I don't do Instagram anymore. Me and TikTok. We have a wonderful relationship that my phone doesn't allow me go on TikTok from 7 a.m. till 12 noon. I can't go on TikTok at all. I have to stop myself. But I've come across some people's content. There's this girl that talks about documentaries, and she talks to us about documentaries, and I am like, I really, really want to work with this girl. There's another girl that does reviews in Pidgin. I am like, wow, she's fantastic. There's another person that I know when she talks about chronic health, me that even ask chronic illness, I'll be like, how are you even doing your content? People are showing up online, but sometimes we just don't know how we should show up. and we are trying to do it perfectly. And I think that's what the Jaga Jaga 60-second videos we are doing is all about. But Sharon, thank you very much. So you're going to nominate someone to do their check-in. You
Okay.
have, yes. If you
Hmm.
call a name, I'm not looking at the names because I will get distracted.
Okay. Should I say, is it
Maya.
Maya? Yeah.
Maya. That's another person that you have to connect.
Yes,
Oh,
Maya.
Oh my
girl
goodness.
is.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can you
Oh.
hear a noise? I don't know why.
No, I
Okay.
can't hear
No.
any noise.
Okay.
You sound
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay, thank you. No, there's this annoying noise. I don't know why it's been on and off, and thankfully it's not now.
Okay.
So, hello everyone.
Hey, Maya.
Hello. Hope you've had a good Sunday. 3P check-in. Okay, what truth have you been ignoring about? To be honest, I started off quite disciplined with social media, that I would just run, post, and get out. Or else, you'd just be sucked in. And recently, what have I been consuming? I guess it's more wellness stuff.
Okay.
Um,
As expected.
yeah, wellness stuff, anything about health, nutrition, yeah, just natural, plant-based kind of recipes, which I've been experimenting myself. So I'm thinking I've been aware that I want to be more productive. I want to produce rather than consume. So I'm very aware of that. And I've made rules like not to go on it first. I do my Duolingo for half an hour at least.
Oh.
Yeah. I do Elevate. So those are do that first before, so I don't feel guilty.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. My tug, and then so my tug, what content keeps tugging at you, or what voice? I'm eager to start my own business, do my own thing.
Mhm.
I think almost a year at home has made me realize I can't go back to 9 to 5.
Okay.
It's impossible. It's just not gonna happen. So
Mhm.
I've got this itch to now start just investing in myself, and believing in myself, instead of sitting on the fence. Okay, I'm working, I'm building my business part-time, which it didn't happen. Then I can now do it 100%.
100%.
And
From
yeah,
the Eco.
yeah, just do now or never.
Awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. All right. So what are you tired of seeing on the internet?
Oh, is it internet? Because what kind of
What
tired
kind
are
of
you
tired
feeling?
are you feeling lately?
Oh, I'm physically and emotionally tired. I can't
Uh-huh.
believe that my event was last week. I'm still recovering.
Congratulations.
I'm still recovering. I was so it was so exhilarating to actually go through the motion
Mm-hmm.
and then see where, because I got feedback as well. And just I'm excited to move forward, but I need money.
That's if that money kill them.
But I know that I'm gonna do it. However slowly, I just have a clearer vision. I think is it Emma? We said something about that. So yeah, you just doing it just gave me that freedom and confidence to say,
Okay.
okay, this is it.
All
Um,
right. I love
and I was able, like, this weekend, as tired as I was
you were
like,
doing your daily walks.
sorry?
You did your 60-second Jaga Jaga video and your daily walks, despite the fact that you were tired.
Yes, I did. I did. And if one day I even put intentions and I forgot to post it, that's how tired I was. It's still
Oh,
in the and I did my letter to myself.
you did your letter.
No,
Oh,
what the letter, but I spoke it.
I have it on video now.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I
I-
like that idea. That's
I
amazing.
did it in a video
Hey,
for
you're running with everything. No?
so what
Yeah.
so physically, so this week, as much as unbelievably, I think yesterday I did my lowest steps, maybe 2,000 or something. I literally got out, just walked up, not my usual, but
Yes.
I
But
did
it was
one.
still
I
something.
did a video on listen to your body. Since
Yes.
Friday, I could, I knew I
Your
was
body
exhausted.
is
So,
okay. Fantastic.
yeah.
All right. So you're meant to pick the
So I
next.
am physically tired. I one day I had to move for my mom. By the time I came back, it was 1 a.m. in the morning, but I
Wow.
had promised her to do it. So the only time my friend could have a van was like 11 o'clock. So we
Okay.
had to do it. I had 7:30 spin class in the morning. I had to cancel it. I said I can't do it. I have to.
So you're listening to your
Yeah,
body.
exactly. I went to yoga though, but yeah, so physically tired. But like today was slow. I've hardly just this weekend I have really listened to my body and say, it's okay. You can rest. Resting doesn't mean you're stopping, but you need to
Okay.
rest to recuperate so you can continue.
I love that.
Yeah.
Rest doesn't mean you're stopping.
Yeah.
That you're trying to recuperate. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing.
Okay.
Now you're meant to pick the next person. Have we done everybody?
Emma. Has
Emma has
gone?
gone.
Oh, she has.
Yes.
Rita, Komi. Ella? Has Ella?
Okay, Ella. Ella made it. Hi, Ella. I think Ella was the one I was
Hi.
talking about that does content in Pidgin. You need to check out her content. She does
Oh.
book reviews. It's fantastic.
Thank you
Hi,
so
Ella. Welcome.
Thank you so much. This is my first time here and I am enjoying every bit of it. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
sharing the
You're
link with me.
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. As I want to pick your brain about your Pidgin content, but let us look at your 3 T's for today.
Okay. I'm not sure how to go about it, but I'm just going to go with the flow from the
Sure.
screen.
Freestyle.
You've been ignoring about your consumption. Okay. I started TikTok 2 months ago. I was always on Substack, Medium, and LinkedIn. So I started a newsletter on those channels. So I was always there. If I'm not reading other people's articles, I'm posting mine until I decided to start TikTok. So I haven't really gone deep into TikTok to understand some of the things I am ignoring. But there was some sort of resistance with starting my content creation. And the number one fear I had was my mother. So I knew she would not be happy if someone sends her a video of me speaking Pidgin on social media. So I love to read. I have passion for African literature, and I grew up in an environment where we spoke a lot of Pidgin. So I understood Pidgin. It's people especially from where I come from consider it the language of the streets, but growing up and understanding the origin of the language, I developed interest, and it's like sometimes I wish it's even an African language, like we have a unified Pidgin language for every African person, something we speak as Africans. So I am a nurse.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I practice as a midwife in Nigeria before I came to the UK. So using Pidgin for content started from when I worked as a community midwife in the villages. So I see women who come in, but they're not open to asking questions. They're not open to they're just not open to the things we do in these healthcare facilities. So I started using Pidgin to communicate with these women, and I saw how I got a large number of women coming to the health center after that month. And so I was volunteering at that time. I spent 2 years in that village until I left to the city. So I was able to build acceptance from the village chief, from the women, children, and all this was because Pidgin helped me connect with these women. So when I went back to the city, I started a podcast, the Preggy Pidgin podcast, and I pushed that narrative until somehow I got recognized by the WHO for my contributions in maternal and childcare. So when I came to the UK, I decided to try something else. I went into plastic surgery nursing and then into oncology, and I have just been diversifying so far. I am currently a triage nurse where I do telephone assessment. So reading books now, especially African literature, I felt this is now time to tell our story in our own language. And what's the best medium? It is Pidgin. And so the first thing I did was to create an account and make sure that I don't add anybody at all that knows me. And I started as a faceless, I started with faceless content because I didn't want anybody to see me and report me to my mother. And after 3 videos that I dropped, I just became bolder. And more people connected. People could now connect with me because I was showing my face as well as my voice. Yeah, so what content or voice keeps talking at you positively or negatively? I think it's the voice of connectivity, especially with African connecting to our history. So I started reading Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda, and it tells the story of colonialism back in Nigeria, how the Biafran War started, and I started understanding a whole lot. And the surprising thing is that my father fought in the Biafran War, but he would never share these stories. He never shared the stories with me until he died last year. So reading Half of a Yellow Sun was like an outlet to the things that I have desired, that I really want to do. And yeah, it was like a backing for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the screen is gone off now.
Oh, sorry.
slide.
That's me.
Yeah. And the last thing is, what kind of tired are you feeling lately? Is it from doing or from absorbing? I think that what kind of tired? I'm not really tired because I think I find expression when I write, and recently from creating video content, the one thing that would have been a stumbling block was editing.
Okay.
Thinking of how to present myself, how to make it look good, and then people would say make it catchy so that it will get people's attention to stay. So I didn't let that stop me because I just put my camera in my face and record. Another thing that would have been like a tiring effect was making myself look nice, like makeup, hair, wigs.
We spoke about that before you came.
Okay. Yeah, I tried it. I tried to look good for the cameras like a few times, and I saw that it was draining me out. So I just ditched all that. If you look at most of my video, it's just me with I just make sure that my face is moisturized. I have lip gloss and I do my thing. Previously, I would wear a wig. I'll make sure that I'm looking really good just in case one of my mother's friends catches my video. but
Goes back
now,
to the parents.
yeah. Yeah, so those two things, yeah, and no,
Okay,
I've left them away. I've kept them away, so I'm
good,
just doing it.
good. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing because when I started in 2016, my first fear was my father. What is this?
Mm.
They say I should go and do PhD. Yeah, I'm on Facebook doing Facebook live stream. And anytime he came on my live, I just changed. I froze. So I'll be flowing freely. Next thing I will see GJ. I'm like, ha, hey, okay, what if I'm not saying it well? And it's that thing used to frustrate me. I would now start sitting upright, back straight. And I ran into one of his friends one day. He told me to go represent him somewhere. And the man I said, oh, yeah, the one that is always doing Facebook Live. Your father is always showing us your videos, blah, blah, blah. I was like, hey, he has never told me he showed anybody, but he did. But I think that's in kind of, we all have that in common. Thank you so much for sharing. There's just one person left that hasn't spoken, and Comfy, that's Comfort, if I'm not mistaken, Easy. But I love your story and your trajectory and how you are still pushing the barriers for yourself and still discovering yourself. My own secret to not wearing makeup is doing black and white videos. I just use the black and white filter on TikTok, and that's how I feel. I don't bother myself anymore because before I used to want the wig to be laid, blah, 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 blah. But sometimes by the time you do all those things, you're already tired and you just wanted to say something quick and you wanted to enjoy creating the process and realize that when I was doing all those things, I was performing and I wasn't just creating from my heart. So we all share a lot in common, and that's the thing with creative community. Everybody is creating in isolation. Almost every other person is giving feedback or critique, and they think they know how to do what you do better. But sometimes we just need to come to that place where we can actually just be honest with ourselves and say, this is how it is, and nobody is judging you. Sometimes creatives, we are judged. When you said you blocked everybody or that you know, sometimes you just have to block everybody. You have to be like Kendrick Lamar and be a full-time hater to every single person. Some people have started removing those that they know from their Instagram because they say they create better when they don't think about who is watching it. And that just goes to show human nature. Comfort, are you with us?
Yes, mom.
All right, so it's your turn.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So,
Good.
mine is usually when we have sections like this, I tend to like have two areas I focus on: my life and work. So I think I'll be talking about the truth on both sides. My truth is, my life is like very busy, like a badge of honor. Like if
Hmm.
it was to be, but I think I'll put it on my forehead. It's going to be like a billboard. I wear busy like a badge of honor. Like I try to fill in every gap, every task, everything I need to make sure that I get done. I try to do that. And I think reason why I do that is because most times I don't want to be in that quiet space where my thoughts and my needs itself come into place or come into play. So I just tell myself, yeah, I'm thriving, but in the real sense, I'm surviving. So that's for my life itself. Then when it comes to work, oh boy, for work, I tend to ignore my crave for creativity. I just get your task complete, meet the usual expectations, but I really don't create space for my voice to be heard or for me to bring ideas to the table. I just often say, yeah, I say yes to everything to just be in everybody's favor. Like, yeah, she's okay, she's good. But if I say yes to most of these things, it takes a lot of my energy. That's for work. It takes a lot of my energy. So that's the truth. I know because I tell myself like every day. Then my talk, life in general for me is I long for stillness.
Okay.
I long for stillness. I see people talk about rest, boundaries, peace. Yeah, I know of those things. But sometimes I find myself in between, like I'm pulled. I feel a pull, but I also feel a guilt.
Okay.
Like if I feel for me to end rest is till everything is done. Like make sure that all the checklists are, check. Then I deserve that rest. And sometimes it's so exhausting. Like the concept of it or the mindset of it, like the life itself, it's so exhausting. So most times I long for stillness. That's a talk for me in life. That's for life in general. Then
Okay.
for my work, it's like a tug of war between being efficient and fulfilled. Sometimes I feel pulled to a particular project, it lightens me up, but I also hesitate at maybe like in between the project, like well, it doesn't really align with my performance, or it doesn't really align with the outcome I'm expecting, or probably might not really get that immediate recognition. So it's a tug of war for me between being fulfilled and being efficient. That's when it comes to my work.
Okay.
Then tired. Wow, internal pressure. The mental load is plenty. Trying to be to everyone. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Like even when I think in my downtime, I carry invisible checklists of things I just feel I should be doing, and it's really tiring.
Okay.
Then I think for me is tired for work is like a mental fog for me.
Okay.
Not physical activities, but over processing things. You're planning, you're trying to adapt, you're trying to decide. The weight itself is more than labor itself, like the normal woman labor, because it's like an invisible labor you carry. You want to keep track of things, you want to remember things, you're anticipating, So for me, when it comes to work, that's so it takes like a whole lot from me also. So I think I get tired of all these things I mentioned. So these are just my 3 T's for work and life in general.
Thank you very much. I think it was wonderful. I didn't think that the check-in will last this long, but I'm glad it did because it kind of let us to let things out, and it leads to a lot of the things we're going to discuss today. I'll make it snappy because we're supposed to have an hour. We have 30 minutes left, so we're still on time. But okay. Sometimes when we are creating or we're doing things, we say, "Oh, I'm burnt out, I'm burnt out, I'm burnt out." And Comfort said something that internally you just have to keep being busy. The Nigerian mentality is you cannot sit still. We say a idle mind is a devil's workshop. And I went through that situation where I was just researching, learning, growing, doing quite a lot and consuming. And what I say is I'm good at building, but I was really bad at implementing because I consumed a lot of content. And we define content not only as what appears on social media, but every single thing that we surround ourselves with, the books we read, 24/7, but even an age where 24/7 we have access to shows. Growing up for us 90s and 80s children, we had to wait for a certain time to watch shows. There was this part where we were able to withdraw and do other things without consuming so much and allowing our brain to be free. But right now, that's almost impossible because anytime you want to watch something, you can find it if you have internet access and you have everything. And with more access comes overload. So our consumption is not supposed to be passive. It is an identifying program because we become what we worship consciously or subconsciously. Now, we don't even need to go out to see ads. When you are scrolling, your mind is being fed subconsciously. And not all tired is from action. Some is from absorption. You have mental processing fatigue that you can't even process it anymore at all. You've passed the stage of burnout. You are unable to process anything at this point in time. So when information is coming in, your mind is just blank. If somebody gives you something to do specifically that is related to your job, you'll be able to push through because you are pushing someone else's papers or files. But it comes to your own life. So what we are looking for with creative recovery is for creatives. If you don't see yourself as a creative, it's for dreamers. If you don't see yourself as a dreamer, it's for humans to take control of their own personal development and growth. And if they choose to monetize it, they can. If they choose to share that talent with the world, they can. If they choose to just use it to help others and achieve their goals, they can. But they need to be intentional about what they do and how they show up. And no matter what, information has a frequency and it leaves a residue behind. It leaves an imprint behind. Energy imprints remain. We think we've just consumed it once, but think about it. There are certain times that you just start singing a song because you've been hearing it over and over and over again. Everywhere you scroll, that's what you're hearing. And then all of a sudden, that becomes who you are. All of a sudden, you're searching for certain things. Especially if you're on TikTok or Instagram, those Asian dramas. Some of them are so annoying, but I will find myself going to search for it. I will just see the clip and next thing I'm on YouTube searching for it. One day, you had to tell me that this dub in English, is it not terrible? I'm like, no, I don't care. That's how much I'm just absorbing content. We don't know how to mute or reset. Everybody has talked about resetting. Everybody has talked about silence today. And muting is just a surface fix. Sometimes we need to pause and reflect. And what we've done today is a great example of pause and reflect, because now you are hearing other people's stories and you realize that on this journey, you are not alone. Sometimes that loneliness epidemic of being a creative, being the only one thinking about your journey, unless you have a coach, unless you have a community, unless you have a guide, can break you as a creative because there's no one to bounce your ideas off. You are not able to consume without critiquing sometimes. Every single thing you see, you have an opinion. If you go on Twitter, they are dragging people. If you come on social media, there's so much chaos going all over the world. And we are consuming it 24/7. And now you're not just limited to the chaos going on in your community. All of us in the UK know what's happening in America. We know what's happening with Kai Cenat Streamer Academy. We know what. So we are consuming too much. How do we now prepare ourselves to stop consuming passively, but becoming intentional about what we pay attention to? It's by recording what we do. We've said the body is always listening and the mind keeps scores. So when we say we are tired and we have that information overload, mental processing, your brain is not working. Sometimes when you say, oh, I have writer's block, I've tried to create, I can't just create. I know what to do to monetize, but I just don't know where to start, or I start and I don't finish. Most of us are great starters. Some of us are bad starters. Some of us don't even know what the start button looks like. The ideas are just so much in our minds, and we are just surviving. We'll just sleep, wake up if we can sleep even, and the next morning we do it all over again. We have absorbed too much. So what do we do with this information that we absorb, and how do we do it? So we see tweets, we see conversations that linger, we read articles that are just there, we have these videos. Are we letting these contents expand our thinking, or are they limiting us? I was telling myself that Twitter, sometimes I just act like a ghost on Twitter. I just visit and get away. But there are some people that will be on Twitter that can reshape your thinking. But I have decided that I'm going to suck at certain things. I must not be good in everything, and I'm not good at Twitter because I don't want to be. I know what to tell somebody else to do, but I personally will choose not to. Visual and listen. I used to listen to podcasts. Podcasts were different, and we keep complaining that the podcast people are creating these days are just not eating it anymore. However, there are still those good podcasts that we can be intentional about listening to if that's how we learn. Do we learn visually? Do we learn with audio? Do we learn with both? I'm someone that if I have an Audible book, I want to have a physical book that I'm still flipping. We talk about, oh, they are not good blog posts. Are we even writing those articles that will stand the test of time? Or are we just consuming? And when you consume, what is your outlet? Do you share your perspective on it? Or do you just consume and move on, consume and move on? We have to ask ourselves these questions, because if we want to fix what's going on, we need to just go from muting accounts, unfollowing people, content filters, getting all the curation tools. Your favorites on your TikTok is full. Your saved items on your Instagram is full. You saved so many things and blog articles that you say you would read and you will do. But when we talk about no gragra forces us to pause and reflect. It makes us to go slow before we go fast. It makes us understand that deep recovery starts with true silence. It could start with digital fasting, but it continues with inner listening and feeling without feeling it up. Sometimes when we feel something, we want to fill it up with something else immediately. So rather than focusing on how do we mute this app, which we've all tried, how do we disconnect this app completely to say we are not receiving, especially WhatsApp groups. WhatsApp groups can be frustrating. You want to catch up with all the conversations and you're muting and unmuting. Instead of changing what we consume, what if we pause and listen to the quiet? What happens when you are silent? How many of us like that aspect of sitting quietly and doing nothing? Most of us can't do it. One, culturally, we are not made to do that. As Nigerians, you cannot be idle. You are going to let your family down. You will drag the family name, your village people. The list keeps going on of the people that you would disappoint when you sit silently. And embracing that silence is the best gift you can give to yourself. Because right now, you're not just muting as an action. You are now looking at why this habit exists, and you are replacing that habit with something intentional. Because when we do certain things, we've talked about shame in the past, we've talked about guilt, how shame and guilt prevent us from functioning to the best of our ability. We are also concerned about what others will say or do. We don't mind letting ourselves down, but when it comes to letting other people down, we are not going to do that. And every single time we've let ourselves down, a part of us is chipping away. So how do we recover ourselves without that guilt and shame of, I've wasted so many years? What's gone is gone. What's in front of us is a lot of years. So we're not going to just keep filling it up with more and more. When I talk about productivity and helping people overcome procrastination, helping people improve the way they get things done, it's not so that you fill it up with something else, because that's what more people do. Once I understand time management and I can control my calendar, forget it. I am going to fill it up with much more. But that's not what we want. We want to do something. So everybody's going to do a little exercise now. If you're listening on your phone, you can still do this, but I want you to examine your Explore page or your For You page or your saved post. Just choose something. I want you to notice the pattern. What patterns do I notice? Who is shaping my inner voice? What values have I absorbed unconsciously, and how do I feel behind, or who do I feel behind because of? Then we make a decision about one person we need to mute, one person we need to reclaim, one topic we need to go deeper into, and I need to release. So it's an active job that we're doing here. We're just going to do it. Maybe we'll do it one question, but this is something that we'll probably schedule time and a co-working time and come and do this properly. But it's practicing silence. The silent scroll audit is what I am calling it. So you're meant to look at your phone. Now, when I look at my Instagram page, I don't see much of the type of content I want to see. One thing I love about TikTok For You page is it brings you to your own people. For some funny reason, it just brings you to people that think in the same way or similar ways I don't know how their algorithm works, but it's my favorite platform. I tell people, when you get on TikTok, don't go there to create. Observe. You're not consuming, you're observing. So if I look at mine because of time, I will say the patterns I notice is that I am getting quite a lot of French content now, because I watch one French content. I'm getting quite a lot of French content, but I am no longer getting coaches the way I used to get them before. I'm more getting the gist, the American side of TikTok. Before I used to even get the American coaches, I'm getting the podcast, like In My Opinion podcast. I'm getting other podcasts that have to do with podcast interviews. And I'm also looking at, as a community, what podcast can I recommend for members of our community to go on to? So if I think about what's shaping my inner voice is quite a lot of people that kind of make me think in a different way. So I won't say I don't go to anybody's page specifically to say, oh, I'm turning on notification to see whatever you post, to see how it will influence me. The reason I stopped doing that was, like I told Emma, I can't take anything new right now. I'm already working with 2 coaches on 2 programs. I can't take anything new. So I have decided to intentionally mute so I can listen to my own voice. So the people shaping my inner voice are Regina and Victor, because I've chosen to work with them. The reason is they help me to create based on my own intellectual property, not borrowed intellectual property. So every single thing I present is based on my IP. I don't feel behind. Sometimes maybe I do, because like most people know, I struggle with my health. So the past 2 months, I've not been able to do much, but that's when I started creative recovery even. And I'm saying I've not been able to do much. So when I speak to doctors, I'm telling people, they're like, how are you doing it? I don't know. I roll out of bed. Sometimes I'll switch on my camera. Sometimes I won't. And I'm glad that the community I am building is behind me in that way. So I don't feel behind because I am not anywhere and well known as people say I should be because of my skills. But I'm grateful for where I am. Am I going to mute anybody? No. The person I have decided to reclaim is Pat Flynn. Pat Flynn, during lockdown, he kept me going. Every day he hosted a live session and I used to watch it religiously. And one topic I have decided to go deeper into is my chronic health, because I have to become more of an advocate for myself. That's just me sitting in silence and not just scrolling to consume. So I get most of the things I'm learning, I even take to the doctors, is what I have listened to other people share about their perspective. It helps me. You have to notice your patterns. I always say this, the best person for you to learn from is yourself. No one else. Learn from your data. It's not about the books you're reading. It's not about the professionals you listen to, the coaches you pay. You pay me as your coach, you pay anybody as your coach. It's not about that. It's not about the courses. It's about you understanding the way you work. So we're going to do something on pattern recognition probably next week. Oh, next week topic has been decided already, but we need to talk about how our patterns give us an idea of who we are. We talk about setting our intentions for the day. We say intentions, actions, outcomes. Most of us, if we look at the intentions we set and the outcomes, they don't match up. They don't match up at all. Patterns help you identify how you work. When we are reclaiming our creative seats, because this week you're going to use 1 day a week to clear your channel. That day you're not going to consume so much. That day you're just going to use it to clear your mind and show up. And I want you to watch yourself think. I want you to create time to watch yourself think before you scroll. And this is what I mean. Block out time to ask yourself the questions that we have here as a guide, or any other question. Sometimes we just keep scrolling, and even if you scroll at night and you're looking at yourself, you're like, and I'm not saying don't scroll, because to be honest, most of the tools I find about that I come to share with you, I find them through social media. Some of the skills and the things I learned about using Canva through social media. So I consume in a way that I'm learning. So if we just cut off social media completely, we are not helping ourselves. So you have to have a day where there is no new inputs, only your own thoughts. Your creativity doesn't begin with the output, it begins with the inputs, what you are letting in. What we're trying to do now is say, don't let too many things in. If your diet is loud, disconnected, you are overstimulated, your content will echo that. But when your consumption is sacred, it's intentional, it's guided, your creativity becomes original again. You find your voice. In order to find your voice, you need to connect with your voice. And you cannot connect with your voice if you're not intentional about sitting with yourself in silence. Embracing that silence where you just sit and do nothing. And as usual, we will say, when you sit and do nothing, do the mindless flow. The mindless flow is a specific period time where you sit down and then you write for 15 minutes. You can do it prompted or unprompted. And once your pen touches the paper, you don't stop writing. You're not writing an academic paper. You can write in any language your brain thinks in, and your job is just to let it out. So this week, we're doing 3 things to reclaim the creative seat. Take control of your creative vehicle and sit down with yourself. Watch yourself think. Protected time zones, protect the mornings or nights as input-free zones. Like I said, from 7 to 12, no input from me. That's intentional. And then clear channel day. That day is for you to just gain clarity. And you can start with 15 minutes of that clearing your head. Just start with 15 minutes to get connected with your own thoughts. It doesn't have to be a long time. So if you choose a 24-hour window, keep a journal, track your urges, and notice insights. So that is from the clear channel day. It doesn't have, like I said, you can start with a shorter window, but when you have that window, because I don't know about you, some of us, we always shout at children, but we are like children. When you tell me not to do something, that's when I want to do it. That's when I am going to do it. So when I say I will select a day where I don't consume this thing, that's when I remember that, there's this thing I wanted to watch. There's this thing I wanted to do. And it is not limited to social media content. Remember, content is everything we consume. Keep a journal. What comes up? What silence feels loud? What thoughts are truly yours? Most people that fall into cults and all these things have not been allowed to have their own thoughts. So they keep repeating what other people have said, what they've been brainwashed to think. And they don't realize that this is actually not my thought. So what thoughts are truly yours when it comes to your own area of specialization? What did you reach for when silence became uncomfortable? Did you reach for food? Did you go for a walk? Did you call your friend to start gisting? What you're trying to do when you're doing, like I said, this always starts with a mindless flow. When you're doing this is to notice the insights about what emerges when external voices are quietened. It's difficult because we work a 9 to 5. We're not going to do this. It's difficult because we work a 9 to 5 or we are busy all the time. It's very difficult to do what we are recommending. However, it could be one of the best things that could happen to you this period, because your recovery is not dependent on what you consume alone. It's about what you absorb. So next week, we're going to be talking about what we can absorb from how we are learning and scrolling. I'll just give a quick one of how I absorb. When I see something on a video or something that inspires me, I pick up my phone, I go to ChatGPT, and I have a conversation about that video instantly. So it could be, I watched a video and I did not plan to start doing it. It happened naturally for me because I know that when I plan to start doing some things, it seems like work and I'm not interested. So I picked up my phone and I had a conversation when somebody, this topic that we have today came because of such a conversation. Somebody was talking about how we are over consuming this, that we don't even have our authentic voices. I was like, really? So I dictated it and I said, this is what I think. Oh, I've written this article about this before, and I brought everything together. And I just said, the truth is what you're consuming is creating you. Creativity comes from a place of rest, but we are in a noisy world and we are Nigerians. That's the end of my story. All right, this was a very quiet class for the last 23 minutes. No ums, no ems, no round of applause, nothing. My country people, what's happening? Eh? Why is everybody sober? Let's reflect. We've got 7 more minutes. What's going through everybody's mind?
Okay, hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Well, I think everything you said, it's touches every area of life balance and everything. But I think for me, if we to end today's section, it's more about me making space to hear my own voice again. So
Yes.
the whole talk about is not about muting noise, but it's just about me making space to hear my own voice again. So I think that's how, if I'm to end today, I'll just like use that as a key note for myself or a takeaway.
I love that. I love that. To hear yourself again. And I think it would be wonderful if we just give ourselves that permission. The world will not pause for us to do it. That's the most annoying thing. The world is not giving us an opportunity to grow or to learn. The capitalist world is move, create. You have to be the best. You have to be this. And everybody is tired and fed up because look at where we are today. Who would have thought a world power will be doing half the things that they do now? Nobody. But that's where we are. So sometimes there's that disappointment in adulthood that the way the world is not the way we wanted it to be. It's not the way we believed it will be. We believe the world will be totally different, that if you walk hard, things will come. And life has come. Nepotism and all these things. Yes, well, we'll all be doing nepotism for our children by the grace of God. But there's an unfairness that is in the world that some of us are upset with, but we've never vocalized. And that impacts our creativity and our ability to listen to ourselves, because we thought we were listening to ourselves by doing what society has told us to do. Now we are like, why? Should I have started business immediately after school? Should I have done this? We ask ourselves those questions and we beat ourselves up so much that we should stop it. Last time we talked about guilty pleasures not being guilty pleasures. Yeah, things that you enjoy. I enjoy my Chinese cartoons and I love it to become a blockbuster. No. The anime cartoons teach about character development. They go through an arc. They talk about community. They talk about family. They talk about things like that. And I was smiling as I was watching it. And I'm like, this is fantastic. This is the kind of thing I want to create. Not just create for the West has spoiled all of us. And spoiling is not in a good way, but thank you for sharing, Comfort. Any other person? And yes, I've put the slides in the chat in case you want the slides before Lucky uploads it. Any questions, comments, observations? Okay, yes. Hi, Ella.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much. While you spoke, my mind went to one lady I admire so much on Instagram. Her name is Vicky Taki. She's a UN youth leader, and
Okay.
she's in the academia. So she also has a PhD. She's under 35. So I was asking myself, what would I gain from telling African literature in Pidgin? And my mind went on exploring opportunities like maybe grants or maybe fellowships or maybe just becoming an advocate for Pidgin in education. And I looked at her profile and I saw that she does public speaking as well. She attends political meetings, and I was thinking, maybe I could start looking for opportunities like literary festivals or maybe language preservation summits, things like that. So I'll go back to her profile and just see things I can copy from her. Thank you.
We lost you for a while and I was speaking also. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Yes, okay. We lost you for a while. But I think that when the A Festival started and everybody
I can't hear you, Okoro. DK.
was really talking about it, HA, these people are going to be coming to you. Think about how Nike Arts Gallery started. When she started, she just started and continued. Sometimes when we go to people, there's a book that we are reading in the community called Win Without.
DK, you've gone again.
Pitching. And if you get that,
Okay, Ma, sorry, we've actually lost you for some
Hey.
while. I think it's the network also.
Network is bad today. Which network am I on? Am I on Sky or am I on Hyperotic? All right, so I talked about the A Festival for Ella, and Ella and I will probably have to chat in TikTok. Please, everybody, let's follow each other on TikTok. It's wonderful that we're growing together. Like I said, I came across her content when she started, and I was like, this is someone that is finding her voice and she's using her voice well. Everybody here, I forgot to mention, we're doing our 60-second Jaga Jaga video this week. Every day you create a 60-second video. 60-second Jaga Jaga video is a video that is not perfect. It's a video that is just you creating from your heart. You are not thinking about what others will say. You are just showing up and talking, basically. That's it. You're just showing up and talking. So many times we want to do things perfectly, but we forget that imperfection and Jaga Jaga is how it starts. So now your brand is an infant stage. Sometimes when people come in, they dilute your brand. The link I just shared is Mayan's page. They dilute your brand because they will bring so many suggestions. So you've done quite a lot of work, but the work that you're starting now with this is at its infant stage. Grow with it, let it grow. And then you and I can have a conversation later. Then you can have a roadmap to say, oh, I want to be on stages. I want to have a TED Talk. I want to go to the UN, because Pidgin is a way you can get so many children reading books. You can talk to them about it. It's a language that could be phased out. So there's that preservation of culture in what you do. And I think it's fantastic. All right, so I've put Emma's page next. I'm trying to put everybody's page in the chat so that we can follow each other, because that may be the quickest way to do it. All right. Any questions, observations? But Ella, thank you for joining today. And as in you joined and you jumped in immediately, you did not even take baby steps. So thank you for that. Any other questions and observations? If not, we meet again on Sunday, 7 p.m. We'll be talking about how we can absorb things that would help us. Then later we'll go to implementation. We're taking it gradually, but I like these honest conversations we've had about our creativity this week in creative recovery. And if I have no more questions, I will see you all next week, right? Sunday. Apart from those I have calls with during the week. I'll see you all on Sunday. All right, everyone. I've gone over by 2 minutes, and I don't want to do that as an habit. Emma, you wanted to say something? Okay, we finished. Anybody that wants to leave can leave. That's where we put it.
No, thank you, Ma. I'm the one that muted.
Okay, all right, okay.
Thanks, DK. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.